Well, now we move to our next presentation. So, Lynn, can you say hello and give us a self-introduction?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Lynn Anderson. I'm the Chief of Social Work Services with the Central Virginia VA Healthcare System. That's here on Belt Boulevard. I'm an Air Force veteran, and I am a licensed clinical social worker. Um, I think one thing that I want to do is first to say thank you for having me, giving me this opportunity, and I want to acknowledge all the powerful things that previous speakers have said. I think it lends well into what I'm going to talk about today. So let me bring my slides up. And here's my slideshow. I have a new computer. So while it's waiting, while I'm finding this, because I can't believe I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay.
Oh, I swear the slideshow button moves. It actually really
I
moves on
swear
us.
it does.
Okay,
I tell
you
you.
got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I want to, one of the things that when I was asked to talk, I was like, what am I going to talk about? You all provided some wonderful examples. And then some things happened in my life that brought some concerns and some stress into my life. And what was happening was I was seeing things in my staff and in other women that I saw like in high school. The teen bully, the gossiping, the things like that. And I realized how dark and how hard it can be, in a profession, and then to have people that you want to embrace and bring into your fold to sabotage and to do things that are hurtful. And so I wanted to talk about the dark side of working with women. And it's not that women are bad, we're not. It's that sometimes things happen in our life and it triggers us, or it causes a reaction in us, and we do things that maybe are not as appropriate as professionals we would like to. How many of you can remember being in high school or college, and there were the bullies, there were the girls that picked on you, there were the cliques. Maybe you were a mean girl. One of the things that I have to own is that I could be a mean girl. But what I can also own is that every time I go into a place where I'm mean, or I'm not acting in the integrity that I need to be working in, I learn something about myself. I learn how to grow. I learn how to expand, and I learn how to be a better person and a better leader. Um, so one of the things that I did was, when I was in the military, a gentleman gave me a book to read. It was called King, Warrior, Magician, and Lover. It was by Robert Bly. And it talked about archetypes and the importance of that boys have to go through different rites of passages. And I was like, what are girls? What about women? What are our archetypes? What are our rites of passage? What do we face, and how does it impact us? So I did some research, and I found a book by Shar Tosi, which is Discovering Your Woman Within. And working with her and several of the women, in the research we did, we found that women have 7 archetypes, actually more. And it's actually the goddesses that we carry within ourselves. We have the mother, the queen, the lover, the maiden, the wild woman or huntress, wise woman, and the mystic and sage. And if you think about women, girls and women, as they mature and as they go through these stages, there is powerful, powerful energy and gifts that these women, um, share and exhibit. And a lot of times, powerful women are in a place where they are in their authentic self. They have identified things that happen in their life, and instead of taking them and letting them drag them down, they have found ways to address them and be courageous and brave and start walking through the path of self-discovery. When I think about me I spent 10 years in the military. I was in a career field that was primarily men. I learned how to lead by the military standard. I grew up in a neighborhood where I was the only girl for a 10 block radius. I had four brothers. Everything I did was male based, and it was difficult to shift into how do I find that gentler side of myself. What I also learned is as I started addressing and seeing and doing my research and self-discovery, and looking at the different archetypes, I learned that there are also the shadow part of us. We all have gold. We all bring gifts to this world. We are, 99.9% of the people in this world want to do with something good. They want to help people. They want to help others. They want to help youth. They want to do something that is going to change, and make the world a safer place. At the same time, we have a dark side that we need to look at. We need to look at our shadows. So when you think about a mother and you think about the nurturing that they give, the strength that they have, how they can, if somebody was to go after their children or their family, this energy rises from her, and she's going to set a boundary. She's going to protect her children. At the same time, if she's been wounded and she hasn't looked at things that trigger her, she may become more of a shadow. She may start operating on a shadow. And I'll give you an example of that in my life. I've recently, like I said, I've had a situation happen where I've been faced again with dealing with mean girls, and I go into a place of fear. I go into a place of uncertainty. And when I get into that place, for me, what comes out is the huntress. I become this person who is aggressive. I lose my empathy that I have for my staff or for other people, and I can say things or do things that can be inappropriate or could hurt somebody, not physically but emotionally. And so what I do, and one of the things that I've learned, and the previous speakers talked about this, the importance of networking and connecting, is what's getting me through this hard time is I when I became the chief of the service, I met up with other female women chiefs of their services, doctors, professionals, brilliant, powerful women. And we networked and we created connection. And I was able to go to them and say, hey, this is what's going on. Here's the rabbit hole I've gone down. I am in fear. I'm afraid I'm going to lose everything, and I have to now hold on to everything, and I just want to push everybody away. And these women were able to support me and bring me back to a place of um, authenticity. One of the questions that was asked to me by their mentors is when you're going to do this talk, why is it that women do this? Are we so injured that we want to hurt other people because it makes us feel good? Do we carry our wounds with us, and when we're wounded, we wound back? Are we fragile in our self-esteem? And if you answer yes to those questions, it's not bad. It's actually really good that you're able to identify that, acknowledge it, and own it, and then make the choice to do something different. How are you going to address it? How are you going to get the support that you need? And doing so in a safe environment, finding those mentors, finding those people that are going to support you. It's about blazing your trail. It's about, what are you going to do? Yeah, I was told a long time ago that life isn't fair, life is hard, and that whatever happens to me, um, positive or negative, my response to it is my responsibility. And my goal in my life is that when I run up against something that is difficult, that I don't go back to that shadow side, that I don't go back to that place of um, of fear and reactivity, that I acknowledge it and I embrace it. It's who I am. But then I step forward and I find that place of confidence and competence and support. And the way I do that is is by sharing my truth, sharing my vulnerability. It's going into a place of unwavering dedication to myself, to forging my path, um, and finding other resilient women who can support me in this. The nice thing about this group of women that developed at the VA is I can go to them for anything. I would lay my life on the line for them, and they would have my back, and they would also call me out. They would also tell me when maybe I need to change something, maybe I need to look at something. Um, the other thing that happens as you're blazing your trail and you start moving from the wounds of your past or the frustrations that's going on, and you step into your power, you step into your place of bravery, you know, you're going to create opportunities for yourself. You're not going to react to what other people are doing. You're going to act in what's sorry, um, with integrity and with accountability. And I have an opportunity to mentor a lot of um, women in the social work profession, and we talk all the time about where do you want to go? What is your goal a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What is it? What is it that you want to do, and what do you want to become, and what do you want to create? For me, I just had a person that I mentor come to me, and I was like, what do you want your legacy to be? You know, I want my legacy to be um, holding myself to the level that I would expect myself to behave and to act, but to do so in a compassionate, courageous, um, brave manner. Um, and the more that I'm able to acknowledge and go and look at myself and say, I didn't feel good about the way I responded, or I didn't feel good about whatever happened. And if I'm willing to go in and look at that and have the support of other women to address those things, I just become a better woman. I become a stronger woman. I become a empowered leader. And so when in the situation that I'm in right now, um, and I'm dealing with the mean girls, I don't have to drop to their level. I don't have to explain myself to them. Um, I don't have to go down the rabbit hole of fear. Instead, I can reach out to these women and get their support and have them share with me and encourage me and hold me in a place of nurturing support. And that is a warm and a wonderful place to be. So, how do you blaze your trail? You find your mentors. Each of these women that spoke before me talked about the importance of the networking and finding people in your life and ways that you can meditate and take care of yourself. You know, the other thing that you got to do is you got to know your worth. People can't define who you are. We have to define ourselves. And when we choose to hear the negativity and take that on, we're just rewounding ourselves. Maybe there was a time as a young teenager that girls were mean to me, and I was excluded, and they gossiped about me. And I learned to react by numbing it out or by being mean to somebody else. Um, Having these mentors and blazing your trail is going to shift that energy. It's going to give you an opportunity to move into a compassionate, empathetic life where you are grounded and you're confident and you're able to walk through whatever issue crops up for you. One of the things I tell people that I mentor is if you find yourself taking other people's inventory, if you find yourself, talking badly about somebody, stop. Look at yourself in the mirror, because what it is they've triggered something in you that you need to look at and you need to work on. And that's part of life. For me, I have to continue to work forward and change and grow. I don't want to be just the same person. I want to have uh, courage. I want to have compassion. I want to be and feel empowered. You know, um, The other thing that I talk about is, when you make a mistake, own it. Own it. Go to the people that you made the mistake with and say, hey, I just realized that what I said was wrong. I've got some new data, or I didn't hear you say um, um, a different way to do this, and I neglected to take your thoughts or your beliefs into my decisions. So I really find the first way to start with this is just to find one person in your office that you can be authentic with, and then grow it from there. Become your own champion. There people are not going to do the interviews for you. They're not going to necessarily help you along your career. There'll be women that will introduce you to connections, that will support you, that will mentor you. But you can't expect everybody to do that. You have to come out of your shell. You have to come into this place of ownership, and you have to support yourself. You have to believe that you can do something different, that you can be successful, that you can live your dream. Um, you know, I used to, when I first started in this field, I used to apologize all the time. And I just don't do that anymore unless I'm done something wrong. And then I don't apologize. I change my behavior and I take ownership of it. And I don't let people shut me down. It is so important to be in your energy and to move forward and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to complete this, and start building your successes. Sometimes you're going to fall down. Be resilient. And the biggest thing I'd say is your resiliency is your superpower. And if you embrace it and nurture it, you will soar. With that said, one of the biggest things that I think is important is finding those mentors. Um, finding who can help you, people that you look up to or would like to do some things similar to them, or have the energy that they have. Because in order to help with the gender gap, the leadership gender gap, is we have to be able to develop strategies with each other to support each other. We need to learn how to emulate each other and grow in community, and grow in power, and structure, and helping each other reach our full potentials. One of the things I've done is I'm a co-founder of a nonprofit called Girls to Women, and we mentor young girls. And our goal is to have them learn how to mentor each other and have peer support. And they're doing that. We're watching young ladies that said, I'm not going to go anywhere in the world. I'm just going to be a lost cause, that are now in college and successfully graduating. Women, young girls that are, want to volunteer and do things and get out of themselves, and become really our future leaders. And if we want to shatter the leadership gap that there's there, we have to do it with each other. We have to do it with the support of each other. So for me, this quote, I love this quote because it's true, is that if we improve women in leadership roles and how we do things and how we become masters at our craft, we will become strong and we'll have a very powerful voice. So I think what I leave you with is, be true to you. Know yourself, know your self-worth. Do not compromise yourself. Do not compromise your integrity in who you are. Embrace who you are, every aspect of who you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. Doing so is going to model to other women how to do that. And then it'll eventually get down to young girls to know that they can embrace who they are and all parts of themselves in a powerful manner to make the world a safer place. And that's what I have. That's my what I have. And I don't know if there's any questions.
Oh, Lynn, thank you so much. Yes, we thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Very well spoken. So I'll go through this one question from Alexandra before we go to our panel discussion. And Alexandra says, how do you know how much you should share with coworkers, especially if you're facing challenges at home?
Yeah, so what I do is um I I'm building trust while I'm working with my peers or with staff. And through their own actions, or not responding to things, I learn who I can trust and who I feel safe with. But I also know that this is a workplace. So I tend to keep my personal concerns at a very generic level. And because I don't want somebody to make the mistake and share something that I don't want shared in the workplace. So I have boundaries around that. And it's a very clear boundary that, I can be real with you, I can be authentic with you, but I don't have to tell you everything. I don't have to share everything with you, but I can seek your support.
That's great. Thank you so much. Well, please read all the comments that have come in through the chat. Lots of wonderful lots of wonderful comments about your presentation. So as we move to the panel discussion for the afternoon, do you have any final thoughts or words of wisdom for our viewers today?
I think the final thing that I would say is be true to you and be not just a leader, but be a mentor for those that need that support.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.